awake with the vision bright, skills to empower futures light. In Kenya schools we're on the rise, our dream takes flight to new heights. Oh, we're climbing step by step, building future strong and safe. CBET, changing lives anew. In CBET, watch us break through.
Hello viewers. When we started working as Flockel Show, we promised to do very important things: to inform, to share, and to educate. But for today, Flockel Show wants to dwell mainly on now educating, which means you can only educate a certain course if you have gone through training and you have been certified to do so. And at least, for that matter, Flockel Show wishes to ensure that all the viewers that are viewing this information or are getting this information, that I have been qualified to be an assessor of CBET assessor for up to level 6. Before we start offering our courses in CBET, there are a number of things that we need to remember. There are two main documents which of course will guide the trainer. And one of the documents is the occupational standards for that particular course. And actually whether that course is accredited by Tvet. And for you to check this information, it will be very easy. I don't know why it becomes difficult, because nobody has been barred from accessing Tvet CNDAC website, and you are likely to get a whole list of all the courses or all the units of competency which have been accredited. It is for that reason, for today, I want to just teach a concept in computer programming. And before I do that, I need to know that I have checked the correct information as per the occupational standards. With me here, I have some bits of what is supposed to be taught. And if you are using any occupational standards or curriculum, please make sure you have confirmed from Tvet CNDAC that you are using the most recent and updated curriculum and occupational standards. There are some which are shared on WhatsApp, and at times you find that some of them were actually the first edition, or they were used many years back, and they are still being circulated on social media. So for you to be able to ensure that you are covering the correct content, please make sure you are verifying the information from Tvet CNDAC website, or you can call to confirm. If you know that yours is not very recent, then you can of course buy another one through their website. It's very easy. Allow me now to go through what should be covered in a unit of competency which we are calling Develop Computer Program. And this unit of competency, we always emphasize on the unit code and the unit name. Now, once you go through this, the occupational standard outlines the following. We have the elements and the performance criteria. I'm about to teach a program or a programming lesson in CBET approach. And that's why with me here, I have checked the unit of competency, develop computer program, and actually confirmed that the unit code is the one. This is the unit of competency, develop computer program for level 5. And the unit code is as indicated here. Then once you look at the unit description, and that's why it's very important that every trainer takes some time to go through the occupational standards. At times, curriculum may not be fully detailed, and once you are not very sure on what you're supposed to teach, you are actually supposed to refer to the occupational standards. Why occupational standards? We are saying that once these trainers or trainees finish, they will go to the industry to work, not to be retrained. And these are the standards which have been agreed by the industries. So whatever performance criteria that has been put down was developed by actually the industry. They requested, and then the document was compiled by Tvet CEDAR Council. Now, on these two, we have two columns. We have the element and performance criteria. So on element number 1, we have identify programming concepts and approaches. And then when we look at performance criteria, number 1, we shall have identification of the program, and programming is done. Then language translators are identified by the trainee. Description of programming approaches is done. And then element number 2 is identify program development methodologies. Then when we come to performance criteria, we have description of program specification is done. Application of program development cycle is done. Types of development methodologies are identified, and styles of programming are also identified. Then element number 3, identify program design. Then description of the program design is done. Program design approaches are identified. Program design tools are identified. Then we have element number 4, identify computer programming languages. Then performance criteria for the trainee is that generations of programming languages are identified. And then number 2, factors for choosing a programming language are determined. Number 3, basic tools for program development are identified. Then we have element number 5. We have perform basic structures or perform basic structured programming using C language. Then when it comes to performance criteria, we have fundamentals of C programming are identified. Then control structures in C programming are identified. Subprograms of C language are explained, and C language concepts are identified. Then C programming environment is identified, description of subprogramming, and then C program format is explained. Element number 6, perform basic internet programming. And then performance criteria will be internet-based programming concepts are identified, web programming approaches are identified, web programming languages are identified, and web programming interfaces are identified. Then HTML coding is done. Then after elements and performance criteria are considered, we also look at the range within which these can be done. And for that matter, we have, in our case here, the variable and the range. Now, for number 1, we have language translators. So we expect that the range will be introducing linkers, loader, interpreters, compilers, and editors. Then we go to the second variable. We have programming approaches, procedural programming, event-driven programming, object-oriented programming, and internet-based programming are well trained. Then variable number 3, we have program design tools. A trainee will be shown how to draw a flowchart, how to write a pseudocode, how to do decision trees and tables. And then number 4, we have, or variable number 4, we have styles of programming, where the trainee will be exposed to functional programming, modular programming, and visual basic programming. This means we shall not go into details, but at least they need to draw a distinction between functional programming, modular programming, and visual basic programming. Then we have the variable control structures. We have the variable control structures. Here we are going to look at the 3 structures: sequence, selection, and iteration. Then variable number 6. We have web programming languages, where we shall look at HTML, PHP, and JavaScript. In some cases, we might have some modification which has been done on the curriculum, and so if the curriculum has taken some part and left the other, then of course you have to teach as per that curriculum for that particular time. Then the last variable is web programming interfaces, where we look at the common client interfaces or common gateway interface. Then we have a document that we are calling evidence guide. In other words, we want to find out whether this trainee acquired those skills as per the occupational standards, and this provides advice on essential. And we shall look at the critical aspects of competency, in which we shall look at assessment, which requires evidence that the candidate identified language translators and programming approaches. Number 2, identified program development cycle and styles of programming. Number 3, identified program design approaches and program design tools. Number 4, identified generations of programming languages. Number 5, identified factors for choosing programming language. And number 6, identified basic tools for program development. And number 7, demonstrate, or the trainee demonstrated language program format. And number 8, the trainee demonstrated control structures usage in a program. Thank you so much.